This is Daybreak and Arise News, and it's time for the press review. A first look at what's on the front pages as they arrive with analysis. We begin with our sister publication this morning, This Day, and it's reporting that the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, has disclosed that by the time he leaves office on May 29, 2023, his successor will be inheriting homegrown economy, stable democracy, as well as revamped security forces. There's a photograph to accompany that story. For a better Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, Chairman, Editor-in-Chief, This Day Arise News Channel, Prince Nduka Baigbena, and the Ekiti State Governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, during a dinner with the 2022 Committee of Business, Political, Media and Civil Society leaders held at the State House at the nation's capital, Abuja, yesterday. Well, other headlines on the front pages of our sister publication this morning: 100 for 100 policy. Central Bank of Nigeria disburses 23 billion naira to manufacturers. Emefiele, new FX policy underway. FG stakeholders laud Apex Bank's drive to boost economy. And of course, yesterday, the chairman and the editor-in-chief of This Day Arise News Channel, well, it was a busy day for him yesterday. He also inaugurated the This Day editorial board. And National Assembly transmits Revamped Electoral Act Amendment Bill to Buhari for assent. Nigeria, UK move to deepen security, hold defense partnership dialogue in London. These and many more you can find in a copy of This Day today.
Or you can pick up The Guardian, and it says Adamu panel asks for time. February 26 APC convention shaky. There's more. Amechi announces delay in rail projects as China suspends funding. That's on page 3. Customs immigration raise alarm as revenue losses threatening 17 trillion naira 2022 budget. And the National Assembly transmits reworked electoral bill to President Buhari for assent. The Independent National Electoral Commission is raising security concern over candidates and says it will disqualify erring parties.
Well, let's take a look at the front page of The Nation this morning, leading with why APC is in crisis by Buni and Reconciliation Panel. Says ego perception is fueling division in the party. The panel with 47 petition asks for more time. More headlines on the Nation newspaper. Ekiti PDP primaries, 98 arraigned over illegal arms possession, and that's a photo of some of the suspected thugs yesterday. More on this on page 3. More headlines on Nation newspaper. CBN restructures forex bidding process as the Apex Bank gives priority to local manufacturers. And above the nameplate of the Nation this morning, ex-Imo Governor Rochas Okorocha and Sokoto State Governor Tambuwal to run for president, while Peter Obi weighs his options. Also, EFCC slams 2.9 billion naira fraud charges on Rochas Okorocha and others.
The Punch is reporting that the APC February convention is uncertain as peace panel demands extension.
Moving on now to the international papers. The I paper, Prime Minister pleads for his job. Failure of leadership over Downing Street parties. That's what Sue Gray report says.
A similar headline on the Daily Mirror. Gray report fallout. 12 parties now probed by cops. 3 attended by the Prime Minister. 1 was in his own flat. 300 pictures handed over. And still, the paper says he has zero shame. And shameless Boris Johnson again refused to quit over Partygate, despite Sue Gray revealing police are probing 12 lockdown bashes at number 10.
It's a similar headline for all the foreign newspapers this morning, leading with the Partygate scandal and the report of Sue Gray this morning. Well, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello for the press review this morning. Emmanuel, great to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning. As usual, let's begin with This Day. The president saying his successor will inherit homegrown economy, stable democracy, and the revamped security forces. Music to the ears of any incoming administration, any successor, but how reassuring are these promises, Emmanuel?
Well, yeah, it's Nkechi, you're welcome back. It's reassuring to see the president talking about that, especially to whoever is thinking of taking over from him. And we see this president talking about a successor, talking about his last day in government. We see a president that is winding down and, ramping up his base and trying to see what he can secure. The party boasting of 41 million followers, really sure of, producing the next successor. It's not, we see a president who doesn't even really have a doubt in mind that first he's going, which is actually reassuring. And in those meetings yesterday, the president was very clear again about the direction he's going. He's saying that, look, he wants to leave behind a legacy. Suddenly he's doing too much or very much now in his last lap, picking up the loose ends and trying to, secure the economy. And he's already boastful about it that, look, or very sure about it that his successor will start on a sound footing. He will always say that, well, that is not the sort of economy or government or the country he inherited when he took over years ago. That for the party he took over from, the government took over from, gave him almost practically a broken toy. But he doesn't want to do the same thing. He wants to hand over. So the jury is out on that. But it was a good meeting, and with committee members, the 2022 committee led by our own publisher and the owner of the Medium, talking telling him, and advising that, look, this is the direction to go, especially now that we have a serious transition on the way. It's what a newspaper should do. It's what a network should do. Helping to help that transition and putting the issues in the right perspective. So you have members of that committee telling him how it is, with even Governor Fayemi hinting at some of the crises on the continent itself, the issue of coups, and with the president reassuring that we have gone past that stage. We don't see any coup happening out here. The economy will be on solid footing, and the people will not be used, or rather, antagonized to actually welcome what they call liberators. So this is the president speaking to other kind of leaders, not just political leaders, but leaders in business, civil society, actually even jibing at them that, look, they should have done this earlier.
Well, Emmanuel, a precursor to having a stable economy, a stable democracy, and revamped security forces is having a credible election. The National Assembly has transmitted the reworked Electoral Act Amendment Bill to the President for assent. That's also on page 10 in this day. Should we expect that signature this week?
Yeah, well, we've been talking about this again and again, and this is practically the last lap. It's gone for the president's assent. This is the kind of bill he was waiting for. I remember that he had said that, look, he rejected it in the first place because of those clauses there. But now the new reworked bill is talking about direct, indirect, and consensus. And I think the president is, and most other people are happy with it. It's not the kind, like I keep saying, it's not a perfect document. It's not the kind of document that we're hoping for. A lot of people wanted a direct thing slammed on almost all the parties, the way it was initially, couched. But now it's been reworked, sent back to the president. I don't think the president will have any other reason not to sign this now.
Still on the election process, the Nation's newspaper is leading with the reconciliation panel of the APC. Buni says why APC is in crisis. It says the elevation of personal interest over the national interest, the absence of internal democracy are some factors that are dividing the APC. And now in preparation to their convention, the release date of when potential contestants can pick up their forms and submit their forms. However, if all these divisions are not reconciled, this convention might be postponed, might be unfruitful, Emmanuel?
Yeah, but we have governors there saying, look, this date is almost sacrosanct. It's almost set because the president has given his assent for February 26th. And I think everyone, the general mood is that, look, we're looking forward to just get over with this thing where nobody is going to favor a postponement. But then it's the internal decision of that party, the APC, the ruling party, to take those decisions. But what is instructive is the crisis that they're still talking about, because just a few days in the new month into their convention, they are still talking about the fact that they've not reconciled everyone. The panel only submitted what looks like an interim report, saying that they are still trying to ramp up all the issues in the states, especially the issue of after their congresses in the state. Many states are still torn apart, with actually 2-3 people claiming to have won those elections. So they don't even have it all tied up in the states yet, and now they are going for their national congresses. A lot of people, the only reason why this is concerning, a lot of people are concerned about this, and you see most papers actually carry these stories, because this is the ruling party. The way the ruling party goes, so goes the country, at least for now. So people are concerned, and I think there will be a lot of relief if those conventions come and go, and then we begin to see what direction the APC is going.
Well, 25 more days to go, Emmanuel. We're counting down. We keep an eye on that story. You spoke about a report in the APC. Well, let's talk about the inquiry. Another report far away in the United Kingdom. The Sue Gray's report was finally out yesterday, Emmanuel. Prime Minister Boris Johnson says, sorry, I'll fix it, but I'm not resigning.
It's a tough one for him, and if you watch the proceeding from beginning to the end, it's really, I don't know, it's really, first it has all the drama there, and it was really, really sad. You see Boris Johnson sometimes practically shaking his head on shore. You see him laughing at times, and those blistering remarks from the MPs, so very, very, very harsh comments from them, calling him shameless, telling him to go, telling him to resign. Is horrible. But you see Boris Johnson holding on and saying, look, I'm not leaving, and a lot of people not even sure what's going to happen. He probably will survive this, who knows, but this is really damaging to his record, and only God knows where it goes from here. But the scene yesterday was really, I've never seen, most people will never recall seeing something like that. The clear-cut attack, not only from the opposition but also from his own side, practically begging him to go and calling him shameless. It must be the worst day in his life. But when we see a very stubborn, really stubborn Prime Minister shooting back, firing back, and saying that no, I've apologized, I'm doing other great work around the COVID crisis and doing other things in the diplomatic cycle, why should I go? So we wait to see what other inquiries we show up, because the police are wading into it now. The Sue Gray report has already indicted him, but this Prime Minister staying on and not wanting to move a bit.
We wait to see how it pans out. Thank you so much for joining us for the press preview, Emmanuel Bello.